Hi there, welcome to another video from Hegarty Maths. It's Mr. Hegarty here, our fourth video on straight line graphs. In this video we're going to be drawing graphs where the gradient is a fraction. Let's start by linking to what we did in straight line graphs 3. Pause the video and for each of the following two questions, using the form y equals mx plus c, could you quickly draw the following two graphs? Okay, you must be able to do this for this particular skill. Did you get the following? I wanted you to state from this that m was 2 and c was negative 3. Therefore, for the first one, you go to 0, negative 3. That's your y-intercept. As you go to the right one, you go up 2. As you go to the right one, you go up 2 using the gradient, and that therefore is the first one. The red line is the answer to the second one. It's got an intercept of 0, 4, and it's got a gradient of negative 3. So as you go right 1, you go down 3. So I need you super good at that skill. The next thing I need you to remember is when we talked about the gradient of a line segment. If I told you the gradient of various lines or line segments were as follows, could you tell me what that must mean? So linking back to a previous skill, looking at your building blocks. Well, a gradient of 2 must mean as I go to the right by 1, I go up 2. A gradient of negative 3 means as I go to the right by 1 unit, I go down by 3. Now here's the skill we absolutely need for this video. If I told you the gradient was a fraction, 5 over 4, remember we meant that bottom number there means as you go to the right by 4, you go up by 5. And here, as you go to the right by 3, because it's a negative gradient, you go down by this number 2. And that's going to be absolutely crucial when we're drawing our straight line graphs with fractions and negative fractions. Okay, let's try some questions. If you could draw that graph without or watching me do it, please go ahead and do that, but without the table using y equals mx plus c form. Otherwise, I'll go through in a few seconds. Okay, this is in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is a half and c is going to be negative 3. That tells us the following. If c is negative 3, the y-intercept is 0, negative 3. If the gradient's a half, that means if I go, that 2 means if I go to the right 2, I must go up 1. 1 up. And I can use that to draw this. So let's start at 0, negative 3 here. As I go to the right 2, I go up 1. So I'm going to go across 2, up 1. Across 2, up 1. Across 2, up 1. Draw a straight line through your points and then label your straight line. This is the graph y is equal to a half x subtract 3. And again, what does that mean? Well, it means it had the y-intercept 0, negative 3, and it's got a gradient of a half. As you go to the right 2, you go up 1, and we're done. Right, next one. Pause and have a go if you can. It's in the form y equals mx plus c, where m is 2/3 and c is equal to positive 5. So the y-intercept is 0, 5, and the 2/3, well, this 3 here is telling us that if we go 3 right, we must go, because it's positive 2/3, 2 up. Okay, so let's start ourselves at 0, 5 here, and we want to go right 3 and 2 up. So we're going to go across here to 3, and we're going to go 2 up here. We're going to go across another 3, and we're going to go 2 up here to here. And there we go, we've got 3 points. That's good enough for a straight line, something like that. And before you move on, just make sure you label your straight line. This is the straight line. Y is equal to 2/3 x add 5, and we're done. Next one, pause, have a go. Well, our m here is 5 over 4. Our c is equal to 2. c is 2, tells us the y-intercept is 0, 2. m is 5 over 4. Well, that tells us, the 4 tells us that as we move 4 right, we must go 5 up. So let's start at 0, 2, which is here. Let's go 4 right and 5 up. So if we go 4 right, we'll end up at 4 here. If we go 5 up, we'll end up at 7 here. So we'll put a line, a little dot there. And if we go 4 right and 5 up here, we'll be outside the page. So equivalent to going 4 right and 5 up, let's go from this point 4 left and 5 down, and we'd end up here. And there's our 3 points that we can draw a line between, something like this. And label it up This is the graph y is equal to 5 over 4x, add 2, and we're done. Next question. Pause the video, have a go. Well, let's write it in the form y equals mx plus c, so negative 3 over 2x, add 5. So if m is going to be negative 3 over 2 and c is going to be 5, the y-intercept must be 0, 5. And negative 3 over 2, well, that's telling us that as we're going 2 to the right, we're going 3, because it's negative, down. And that's going to be the key here. So let's draw that one in. So start at 0, 5. We want to go 2 right and 3 down. So 2 right and 3 down here. We want to go 2 right and we want to go 3 down here. And maybe one more for luck. 2 right and we want to go 3 down here. And you can see we've got ourselves a straight line here. And just tidying that up. And we just have to write in what straight line it is. It's the line y is equal to 5 subtract 3 over 2x, and we're done. And that's it for this particular video. Thanks for watching.